Take a look at this. This is what I had growing up in the 90s. These are called chatterings, and last time I had one of these was 20 years ago. Crazy, eh? I know, I'm getting old now, you know, I'm turning 29 soon, so it's okay. I still get asked for ID, it's okay. But what you gotta do is you actually have to, you know, spin these really fast, and you have to do it really fast. Ow, that really quite hurt actually. You gotta go like this. See that? Cool, eh? It's pretty cool, it's pretty cool. Anyways, what I really want to talk about in this video, and before I start as well, of course, Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video for 2020. I hope all of you are looking after yourselves, looking out for each other, and keeping each other safe. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel, learning about my life, and learning about my journey.
31st of October 1998. Loves the camera. Love the camera, boy.
Now what I want to talk about in this video is why New Zealand is always going to be home for me, what it means to me as an adoptee, and why New Zealand is important. So I came here when I was 2 years old. I came here very, very young. It's 2 years old. And my earliest memory is definitely my 3rd birthday. I don't remember anything before that. And as you guys have seen in the past, I've talked about my childhood, talked about me growing up in New Zealand, but all of my memories, all of that nostalgic memory, like that New Zealand toy I showed you before, it's all linked to New Zealand. This place is always going to be home for me. And with my Russian side, my Russian culture, my Russian identity, as I say, and my Russian background, that plays another big part of my life. But I grew up in New Zealand with my New Zealand family, my beautiful New Zealand family. Got the photo over there actually. My beautiful New Zealand family, and they're the ones that raised me to who I am today. We grew up in a very normal New Zealand childhood, and I always think back of all the memories growing up. I was from a small town further north of Auckland. I came to Auckland only 10 years ago, but New Zealand has always placed a big part of my life. It's always part of my life, and it always will be part of my life. I also have that whole Russian identity, the Russian background, and that Russian culture in my life too. My family was open to that in our family. They had it everywhere in our family. They were very honest about it. They always showed us photos, videos of Russia. So the Russian background, the Russian identity was always part of the family. It never appeared there later on or anything like that. A lot of questions that people have asked me all the time was, how long have you known since you were adopted? Did your parents tell you when you could understand, or do you remember a specific time? And my parents have just always told my brother and I everything from as early as we could remember. I remember they used to tell us a story as 5-year-olds, and they used to say, you know, you two boys have come from this big country all across the other side of the world called Russia. And with that, in our family, we have the Russian culture in our family. And I just grew up with a lot of photos and videos, even from my own orphanage, and just having that in the family has played a big part of my life. But every time I leave New Zealand, I get homesick very quick, and I just want to come back home, and I get very homesick. So at the start of 2013 was when I went overseas for the first time by myself. I went to South Korea. I was doing some work over there. I was cameraman actually, and it was just incredible. Seeing the world, you know, seeing how big the world is, seeing how people live their lives, seeing different cultures, seeing different backgrounds. All of that it's just incredible for me because, you know, coming from a small country in New Zealand, we're very small. And if you look on the world map, if a lot of you don't know where New Zealand is, we are right at the bottom, we are near Australia, but we are tiny. I'm living here in Auckland, and it is a great city. I love Auckland, you know, I love everything about it because there's so many things happening here at once. It's a big city, it's the biggest city in the country. But being in New Zealand, you know, I love coming back home, I love seeing my parents, and I love reconnecting as much as I can with New Zealand. So we grew up in that whole New Zealand culture, a lot of the New Zealand nostalgia, a lot of New Zealand memories. I have a lot of great memories growing up, and that's always going to be there. So as an adoptee, of course, for myself, I grew up in that family. It's part of my life. It is definitely part of that. So it plays a big role for my whole journey, for my whole story, and every time I leave here, I just want to come back. I know that next year is going to be the big challenge for me because a lot of us do have to push the boundaries, and a lot of us want to push the boundaries, and a lot of people move away from New Zealand and they don't come back for years, or they come back for maybe just half a year. So my plan next year obviously is to go to Russia, go and do some work over there, connect more with the Russian culture because I believe that's part of me, that's definitely a big part of my life, and I want to connect with that more, and then obviously come back home. So that's a big thing. I was just a very sporadic kid running around everywhere, just learning about how everything was running in the world, how everything was here, and it was just, it's incredible to look back at that. And for myself, I can always reconnect with that because it is part of me, it is part of my childhood, it is part of my life. So I thank you all so much for watching, and please click subscribe if you've not yet subscribed to my channel. And until next time, spasibo большое. И до свидания из Новой Зеландии. И пока. Спасибо.